And joining me now to discuss this long-running, disturbing incident is a social justice advocate and the executive director of Rebirth Hub Africa, Omotola Fawumi. She joins me from Delaware, United States. Thanks for joining us. 7 years on since the Chibok girls were kidnapped, about over 100 of them have not been released. And many people believe that it does look like government has given up on the rescue of these girls. How does this come across to you?
Wow, thank you very much for spotlighting this very terrible incident. You know, I was thinking about it I think only a few weeks ago, that 276 children were kidnapped or abducted, and we still have 112 that are still missing. I think that for me, as an individual, as a sister, as an aunt, as a mom, it is distressing and very painful and a very huge disappointment that my government doesn't think that it is a priority that these human beings may be found or should be found.
We spoke with one of the campaigners of the Bring Back Our Girls earlier, and she did talk about how government's engagement with the families of these girls has been really abysmal. She said there has been little or no information given as about the whereabouts of government's efforts to rescue these girls. What do you make of this?
It's similar to what I said. The citizen of every nation puts, when we vote, when we go to the polls, we say that we have confidence in the government to protect me. And so when the government cannot protect its citizens, it's horrific.
We'll have Omotola Fawumi back with us now to talk, continue our conversation on 7 years after the kidnap of the Chibok girls. Omotola, earlier you were speaking about a question I asked about government's engagement with the parents of these girls.
Yes, thank you. I think what government should do, government should stay connected and consistently communicating with the parents of these girls. The only thing that these parents have, and I understand that some of these parents have died, some fathers and moms of these girls have died. That's because that incident is very heartbreaking. How do you birth a child and you don't know when the child is coming back, you don't know what conditions this child is living in. So I think it's the responsibility of government to continue to engage, not just saying, not just pacifying them, but showing that progress is being made about and efforts have been made to get their daughters back. 7 years is a long time. It's a long time. It's a long time for anyone to keep waiting. It's a long time for government to not have answers. It's a long time for government to say, well, we really don't know exactly what. It's heartbreaking. Government can do better. Government really can do better. They can talk to the parents. They can provide even some form of trauma counseling. How many of these parents have access to trauma counseling and managing this grief that they have to go through? There's so much that government can do and show specifically that the efforts are being made to get their daughters back.
Absolutely, Omotola. I agree with you on the trauma counseling. I mean, one has to wonder the state of health of these parents, having been waiting anxiously for their children to return. But when you look at the fact that after 7 years, some students have been kidnapped and have been rescued by the federal government, what does that tell you about government's attitude towards the rescue of the Chibok girls?
Well, I would say it's good that some of the girls have been rescued, but even if the 276 girls were rescued and there is still one person who is not rescued, there's no way you can explain to that parent that, you know, there is progress, things will be okay. No. There is so much that government can do. Government has the resources, the network, government has the manpower, government controls the military, government has access to intelligence information. So all of these resources should be deployed, and this girls' abduction should be treated as a national priority. It shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be something we do when we have the time or when we have the space. No, it
All
should be
right.
something that it's a shame that our girls would have to go to school and they have to think about being safe. No one should have to
Absolutely.
go through that.
The impact of these on education, especially for girls, has to be put into consideration. Social justice advocate and the executive director, Rebeth Hub Africa, Omotola Faumi, thanks for talking to us.